Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. So we're back today with a nice gigantic box of dinosaur figures, maybe one of the biggest. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say that. It's definitely one of the biggest unboxings I've ever had here on the channel. So I was on eBay fairly recently and found a seller that was selling quite a few different lots of stuff they acquired through an estate sale, I guess. And they didn't really know what they had, or if they did, they just assumed they'd get some really good bids on everything, but they just had so much stuff that they were selling. I put like a bajillion bids in on different things, and I ended up winning quite a few of them. Not a whole lot, but a few things. But together, all crammed into one box, makes a pretty huge unboxing. So the very first thing I have here, I basically just pulled this off of the top of the box. I haven't emptied anything else out except for this. Basically, I've opened the box, and that's about it, and brought this in, and you can see this is a massive box from Jurassic Park Jr. You can see it's the Tracking the T-Rex set. And I never really got into the Jurassic Park Jr. stuff back when it was released, but, you know, the older I get, the more fun I think this stuff is. You know, kind of similar to like the Imaginext line of Jurassic World. Jurassic Park Jr. was sort of, you know, Jurassic Park toys aimed at younger children. And now that I'm a bit older and I have more of a respect for all things dinosaurs, I've kind of gotten into this stuff a little bit more, and since there were so many pieces that were advertised in this lot, I assumed, why not? I might as well just go ahead and take a bid on it. So what's cool, again, as you can see, is some of them actually come with the original boxes, which is really neat. And again, considering these are fairly old, it's really exciting to be able to get the boxes with some of them as well. So we do have that box. I am going to pull that out of here for just a moment, though, and readjust the camera because we've got quite a bit to bring in. So the very first thing, besides the giant box we already saw, and this isn't even JP Jr., is this, which is pretty interesting. Let me go ahead again and readjust the camera because it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. But this is a really weird sort of a, I don't know if it's like a battery-operated dinosaur. I'm really not too sure, but it's actually really cool. You can see it's definitely a pretty fun-looking, I guess it's a T-Rex, but it's a figure I had never seen prior, and considering it was still in box, I think the bid was like $10 for this. And again, I placed a bid, not even sure if I would win. Shockingly, I did, but you can see it's a pretty neat model, and again, considering it is one that I had never seen before, I felt like there was no doubt I would put a bid in on it. And of course, with my current love for old school dinosaur toys, that also kind of drove me to want to get this one into my collection. And the fact that, again, it's still in box was also really neat. I'm not too sure what that is outside of that. You know, I don't know a whole lot about that figure or that set, but it was cool enough that I wanted to get it. We've also got ourselves some JP Jr. figures. So first of all, we have one of the Pteranodon, and you can see he's a pretty cool figure. Again, the overall sculpts and everything were definitely very exaggerated, very goofy, but still really fun. But what's also neat is the fact that there were two different color variants for this Pteranodon in here. So you can see we also have this really neat purple variant as well. And they actually have some pretty fun articulation. I like that you can actually make them fly and then bring their feet up to make them stand, and they do stand pretty nicely. Also, there's absolutely no way I'm going to get everything in screen here. I recently had somebody commenting on a different unboxing video asking if I could try to get everything in screen as I'm bringing it in. There's no way. There's just way too much stuff. There are also these extra pieces that I assume are all JP Jr. Again, there's like a little vehicle here with something hanging off of it. I don't know a whole lot about those. There's actually more of that stuff in here. Again, more pieces, probably to that T-Rex set that we saw the big box from. There's also a massive lot of Happy Net figures here kind of mixed in as well. And I've been wanting to get more of the Happy Net figures for a long time. I do have quite a few, but not nearly enough. As you can see, the Kentrosaurus is in here. And again, if you guys see anything in here that you would like to see reviews of, definitely let me know, because I would love to get some more reviews up of these older figures. Here is a figure that is absolutely awesome. It is the Seismosaurus, which there are so few figures out there for this species. That definitely is really exciting as far as that one goes. And as you can see, it's a pretty hefty sauropod figure, also something that we don't have nearly enough of We've got more JP Juniors. Clearly we have like a Velociraptor here, a very colorful Velociraptor, as well as a big old Stegosaurus. I actually do have this one. I don't remember if it's this color variant. I was lucky enough to have Semaj Larama send me a box a ways back with some really cool stuff in it, and one of the things in it was this Stegosaurus, so very cool to have that guy included. Let's push him back there. They got to go really far back. One figure I'm extremely excited about, and for obvious reasons, is the addition of the Carnotaurus here, which we can see is the HappyNet Carnotaurus. Another figure that, again, I did not have that, of course, when it comes to Carnotaurus, I'm really happy to now have. As well as a Ceratosaurus. And as you can see, these HappyNet dinosaur figures actually have a pretty wide array of really neat species included. There are even more. We've got ourselves what I assume is the HappyNet Pteranodon, but it looks like somehow the crest is on backwards, which is really weird. I don't know what's going on there, but still pretty cool to have that one in here. There is also, and there's no way this one's going to be able to stay in here, as I'm already smacking things with it, but you can see a gigantic JP Jr. vehicle, which is really cool. Someday, maybe I can actually put it up here. Yeah, you can't really see it right now, but it's up on top of that box. Maybe someday, whenever I can actually open a dinosaur toy museum like I kind of have hopes of doing eventually, maybe I can display all this stuff there. But you can see there's also a JP Jr. helicopter in here, which is pretty fun. My Ceratosaurus is trying to take a tumble. And then, of course, the JP Jr. Triceratops. This one as well, I think, was actually, I'm kind of wondering now, was it that Stegosaurus that Semaj Larama sent me? Or was it the Triceratops? I don't remember. I think there was actually a Brachiosaurus as well. I'll have to go back and take a look at that at some point because I can't recall. I have a terrible, terrible memory. We've got some more JP Jr. in here as well. This one's actually a very different style compared to a lot of these others. Like this guy doesn't even have articulation, it seems. So I guess there's different types of Jurassic Park Jr. figures. Again, I'm not too familiar with the line. Here's a really neat one, and I'd assume it is the Acrocanthosaurus from HappyNet. I'm also not super familiar with the HappyNet figures, only because I know they're kind of expensive and a little hard to find at times, so it's not a line that I was regularly collecting. Anytime I would come across some and it was a good deal, I would grab them, but I think in total, prior to this, I probably have like 5, maybe 6 figures from the HappyNet line, so a lot of these are actually new to me, like I've never even seen them before. Some more JP Juniors as I drop the Parasaurolophus, and also this adorable little Ankylosaurus here. Some of them look like maybe they've got like some dust and dirt and stuff on them. You can see he's a little bit dusty, that Parasaurolophus. We've got another crazy raptor, this time with an orange coloration. Still kind of a cool raptor right there. And then we also have an adorable little Brachiosaurus, which my camera is not going to focus on apparently. There you go. Again, another JP Jr. figure that we have to push way, way back there. And then we've got more HappyNet, as we've got a really nice looking Pachycephalosaurus. That honestly might be one of my favorites from the HappyNet line as a whole. That's just a really cool looking figure. The HappyNet, I think that's the Allosaurus. It certainly looks like an Allosaurus to me, so that would be my assumption. Again, some really neat figures in the HappyNet line. I really wouldn't mind getting some reviews up for the HappyNet figures overall. And just to try to make sure this video doesn't take all day, as you can see, we've got even more HappyNet moving in here. Again, there are honestly a ton of these figures in here. Absolutely loaded with them, which is really exciting for me because, like I said, I really didn't have very many of them. I did actually have this guy before. I do remember having him, but I don't think my original one is in too good a shape, so it's nice to have another one that's probably in better shape than the one that I had. But I'm trying not to spend too much time on each and every individual figure just to see if we can kind of move through them quicker rather than spending a significant period of time on each figure and really dragging this video out. But as you can see, as I'm bringing them in, again, you've got some super cool species in the HappyNet line, and honestly, like, the fine detail of these figures is really impressive. Obviously, a lot of the sculpts are a bit outdated because they are figures from quite a ways back, but for their time, as you can see, they're really nicely sculpted. Well, some of them are. I mean, this Stegosaurus isn't so great as far as the fine detail. It definitely nowhere near as nice as some of the others, but still not too bad. And then you get to some gems like the T-Rex and everything. Again, definitely a nice looking T-Rex for its time. I don't know if there's a date on the underside. 2005. So again, 2005, that's not a bad T-Rex for that time period. This is back when we didn't have nearly as many dinosaur figures as we get now. There's also a cute little JP Jr., what I assume is a little T-Rex in here with one little tooth sticking out. And a really cool species in here. I do know this one. This is the Futubosaurus. And definitely a species you don't see too often. In fact, I only have one other figure. Oh, there's some random paint on this one. I'll have to try to scrape that off. But I only have one other figure in my collection of that species. And as you can see, we're already filling up the review station quite quickly, which is not good news for me. You can see we also have a Spinosaurus in here. And these figures are, again, like I said, so much nicer than they're given credit for. And they also sport articulation, which is really fun. We've also got some decent ceratopsians in here. You've got a Styracosaurus, a Triceratops, and stuff like that. So, again, really, really fun stuff with these HappyNet dinos. And shockingly, there is another of this raptor in here. So I guess if the other one that I have is in really bad shape, it doesn't really much matter because now I've got two. Well, two more. And here's one that's actually really cool. It's the JP Jr. Archaeopteryx, and you really don't see oh, he's got some hair on his face or something, but Archaeopteryx too often, and again, it's the only time to my knowledge that Archaeopteryx has ever appeared in the Jurassic toy line. So again, pretty cool to have an official Jurassic Archaeopteryx, just he's a little goofy looking. There's also some more JP Jr. stuff in here. Again, another vehicle, and then I'm not really sure what this is. Maybe another piece that goes with the T-Rex set. Not entirely sure. There is also not just one, but two of the HappyNet Amargasaurus, which might be one of the craziest looking Amargasaurus figures I've ever seen. Actually kind of similar, though, in color to the Dinosaur King version. We've also got another JP Jr. Triceratops in here, another really big Triceratops, but you can see with a different color scheme. The first one was blue, which you can kind of see possibly hiding back there. No, actually, I guess where the camera is, you can't really see it. And now I'm knocking everything over, trying to cram it all here on my review station, which is next to impossible because there's so much stuff already. There's also another HappyNet Pterosaur in here. Maybe that one is a Quetzalcoatlus, I'm not too sure, but still a pretty darn nice looking figure, as well as another HappyNet Stegosaurus, but this time a different color variant, which is intriguing. I did not realize that they actually had different color variants in that line, but then again, as I said earlier, I don't know too much about the line overall. There is also the HappyNet Brachiosaurus, and he's an adorable little sauropod. We'll just put him right there, maybe stand him up possibly. There we go. We have a gigantic JP Jr. Tyrannosaurus Rex, a much larger version compared to that baby that we had just a moment ago. And if we actually bring the camera back here just a tad, you can get a better look at that T-Rex. He's actually pretty darn cool as well. There is also a small ton of JP Jr. human figures in here. I don't know exactly who each and every one of these guys are meant to be. Like, he looks like Muldoon, but I don't know for sure if that's who he's meant to be. They're all kind of goofy looking, pretty much fitting the style and theme of the JP Jr. line overall. And another thing that's really cool is with these HappyNet figures, we actually have the tags that go with them in here as well. Looks like for the most part. I don't know if they're all in here, but there's definitely a lot of them, which is actually really, really sick, if you ask me. Not something that is easily found nowadays. And, again, also really cool, we have the packaging for, let's actually move the camera back again, the packaging for these JP Jr. figures, which you can see. This one was for the maybe the Pteranodon, I guess, the big Pteranodons. Yes, definitely the Pteranodon, which you can see the back of the packaging. There is also the back of the packaging for the Triceratops. Unfortunately, the glare is trying to murder my camera right now. And then there are also some of the smaller ones, which you can see again You've got the packaging for the Brachiosaurus. This one is the little T-Rex, which you can see him right there. Might as well just turn them around. Actually, it's probably more fun to look at them here on the back. This one was the set that included the Parasaurolophus and the Archaeopteryx. You've also got the Velociraptor set here, and the Dilophosaurus and Ankylosaurus set. So even cooler to have the actual packaging for these. Even if it is opened up packaging, it's still really neat. Then we've got ourselves another Happy Net T-Rex here. Let's just go ahead and place him in this extremely crowded area. And then we're just about done, finally. We've got some more Happy Nets, as we've got some Parasaurolophus, another double dose of Dinosaur here with these Parasaurolophus. But that's not all. So that's the majority of everything. That's like the biggest stuff that's in here. But there is also a bag of much smaller figures. So you can basically see what we've got in here. A whole bunch of stuff. So let me go ahead and pull them all out and bring them in. So we've got some really cool stuff. Here's a nice Brachiosaurus. Totally randomly, there is also a Gorosaurus in here, which is actually really exciting, and it's not focusing. There we go, which is actually really exciting because I absolutely love Gorosaurus. He's one of my favorite kaiju. So if you had to pick a random kaiju to include, Gorosaurus is maybe the best option. And as we go through these, again, I'm going to try to bring them in a little bit quicker so we don't spend too much time on them, because there is actually a pretty significant amount of these figures in here. I'm trying not to block them by any means, but there's just so many, and I'm trying to get them in, again, fairly quickly. But you can see some really neat stuff here. I know some of these, I believe, are Kyoto, but I'm not positive what all are Kyoto, and these Triceratops are. Actually, it looks like this guy lost a leg. His leg must be in the bag somewhere. But I don't know if they're all Kyoto or not, because again, I don't collect the Kyoto figures too religiously like some people do. I know some people absolutely love the Kyoto line overall, and although I am a big fan of them here in the United States, they end up usually being fairly expensive to get. Like, not that expensive, but like for one little minifigure, it's usually 10 to 15 bucks if you go try to kind of search them out individually, which over time, can be a good hefty attack on your wallet. But honestly, the figures, I would say, are worth it, because as you can see, as I bring these in, they're actually pretty darn fantastic overall. And one thing that I'm always impressed with is how good the fine detail and paint apps are for figures so small. And I'm loving the fact that there are numerous different sauropods in here. That's really exciting, as well as potentially the absolute most beautiful Diabloceratops I've ever seen. And then we've got this, whatever that is. Kind of looks like Godzilla. I'm not even sure. I've never seen that before. But again, still some more really neat dinosaurs in here. I'm trying to clear this bag out as quickly as possible. Super cool, almost an old school sauropod there. Also got a human being in here. I don't know if he's Kyoto or exactly what group he belongs to, but then we've got these two, which are the final two figures from this lot. So if we pull the camera back here, you can see, wow, that is an absolutely gigantic pile of dinosaur figures. Definitely have some inventory work to go ahead and do and try to figure out everything I've got in here and try to separate it into different areas and, again, basically store or display this stuff accordingly. But as you can see, like I said, definitely one of the largest lots of dinosaurs that I have ever acquired here on my channel. So in the comment section, let me know what you guys think of this, and of course, let me know if there are any figures in here you saw that you would like to see reviews of, and I would definitely try to get those up on the channel at some point in the near future. And like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.